birth of a child is an overwhelming thing. And when it's twins, and you get to hold both of them, it's doubly miraculous and sort of breathtaking.
I'm Josh Rudner. I was born on July 8th, 1998. My twin and I, he was born 2 minutes before I was.
I'm Zach Rudner, and I'm Josh's brother. Every experience we've had, we've shared, which is something that I can't say about anyone else.
I think that my being his twin and his being my twin, we kind of shape the other person's worldview and the other, how we relate to people and see things.
When your son comes out to you at 11, it's hard for me to imagine a parent looking at his child who's been brave enough to do that and not understanding immediately that your job as his dad is to do whatever you can to make sure that your kid gets a fair shake in the world.
Yeah, when I introduce myself, I don't say, hi, I'm Zach Rudner, and I have a twin brother who's gay. But I think that it's certainly not anything I would hide. I'm proud of Josh, and I'm proud to have him as my brother.
I think in my generation, a lot of us understand it is essential to come out, not only for ourselves and our family relations, but also if we want things to be better for people in the future and for this to be a normal thing. In some ways, our responsibility to come out as quickly as possible.
I think that we have a loving family and a loving household, and I don't know what that looks like if your love is, has limits of, you can't be gay, and you can't do this thing, and you have to look and act like this.
And we're raised to be confident in who we are and to express ourselves how we are, to stand up for what we believe in. And so that obviously transferred to my being gay, but I couldn't imagine being in a family where I wasn't supported or where I had to hide who I was. And I have tons of friends who feel that way. I have tons of friends who are out to me and out to their friends, and not out to their family.
I think it's a really interesting question to ask why someone thinks one of my sons ought to have a completely different set of rights than his twin brother. And of course, there is no good answer to that question.
We need to have a more loving culture, just because I think that if we don't, I just don't think that how it currently is acceptable. Because I don't think we can have a hateful, bigoted legal system or a hateful, bigoted culture.
The South has such a really brutal history with inequality of all sorts, especially with racial inequality, especially with slavery and the Civil War, and today with the LGBT community. And so what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to say, I am from Texas and I am proud.
Our grandchildren are going to look back on these times and say to us, you remember back when gay people didn't have equality, when trans people couldn't use the bathroom? Remember when all of those horrible things were happening that we're reading about in books and can't believe now? What did you do at that time? How did you speak up? What did you say? Who did you talk to get that changed? And I think we all have to be prepared to have an answer to that question.
Texas is famous for being great for business, and if we want to continue being that way, we're going to have to change our policies.
Discrimination is not a Texas value. Embrace dignity and respect for every Texan. Join Equality Texas.